Obviously, when you growing up in that period in the '60s and before Bob Dylan showed up, music was great. You know, you could always get really great songs. There was always good music on pop music and a lot of good songs that I loved from growing up. Buddy Holly, obviously, and Bobby V and all the kind of Gene Pitney songs. Those were all great songs that were really classic things and huge breakthroughs in the mid '60s. People wanted to start writing their own songs and taking what was going on politically. But the ones that were really interesting to me were just where there was still some of the mystery in the words, and you had to hear it again and again, and you were curious about why a certain phrase was sticking in your head. So that's kind of the application of poetry to the writing of song lyrics. Come to New York in the old style of writing a big, good old hook. Who put the bomp in the bomp a bomp a bomp? And so that's a forever tune. But you start to hear other music and words that just kind of are mysterious and phrases, and all of a sudden you're walking along, and that image comes to your mind that's sitting in a song that someone wrote, and you see it up in the sky. That's just fascinated me. So listening to Dylan and Phil Oakes and a lot of those folky guys who were out of New York, obviously, I was just really intrigued with that, adding that kind of style or working on that kind of thing, those kinds of lyrics and images. There were people who were writing in Detroit, again, Bob Seger. There were poets in Detroit, poets in Cincinnati, and that were a little bit more down to earth, more accessible. And this guy I like a lot, Kenneth Patchen, was from Ohio. You could read it, and you have to read it again, and sometimes you didn't get it, but you would still want to read it some more. Thought that if I wanted to do this well and be good at it and keep exploring, I think having a touch of those kinds of poets in me a little bit would be a good thing. And I think what happens is when you get that rolling, it just you got your little memory bank. When something sticks, it's hung up there. If it's not good, it refilters and then gets held up, and a year later, 10 years later, or someday it may come out as a nice part of a song.